They say your whole life flashes before your eyes when you're about to die. But no one talks about what flashes when it's your child. Tonia kicked the hospital door open, one hand clutching her limp son, the other flinging the glass wide. "Somebody help me!" Nurses came running. One shouted for a stretcher, another for oxygen. Within seconds, her son, Kaima, was wheeled away, eyes closed, body still. They called it post-traumatic coma. The scans were clean. The doctors were confused. He's stable, but not responsive. They visited 3 different hospitals, met with 4 pediatric specialists, but still no answers, no diagnosis, no explanation. He's stable, but unresponsive, they all said. Machines kept him breathing, but he couldn't be brought out of the coma. Tonia refused to leave the hospital. She showered in the public bathroom, brushed her teeth at the sink near the nurse's station. She didn't want to stay away from Kaima for too long. What if he woke up and she wasn't there? Days turned into weeks. The hospital bills were running into hundreds of thousands. Still, no one could find what was wrong with him. Her husband tried to stay strong. Friends texted prayers, but nothing really helped. And when her spirit was about to give out, something resurfaced, a memory she had buried years ago. Before we continue, just take a moment and click that subscribe button. Great, now let's continue. It was almost 1 a.m. The nurses were quiet. The hall was cold. Tonia was curled up in a chair, Kaima's blanket in her lap. The phone vibrated. Once, then again. She picked it up. It was her cousin, the same one from the wedding back in Lagos that introduced her to Isi Atọ, a strange soup spot in Aku town. "Tonia, I know this will sound mad, but do you remember that place? That spot, that soup spot in Aku town?" Tonia didn't answer immediately. She was trying to figure out what her cousin was talking about. Then her cousin shouted, "The one with the chalk sign, Isi Atọ, the one you said you'll never eat from again. After what happened?" There was a pause. Then she continued, "I don't know why I'm thinking of it. I just remembered what it did for me and you back then." Tonia said nothing, but her hands were shaking because she had buried that memory. Just a few years ago, she had come to Aku town for a wedding. Her cousin took her to a strange pepper soup joint. No signboard, just a zinc wall and a name scribbled in chalk, Isi Atọ, which means 3 heads in Igbo. They called it miracle soup, said one bowl could change your life. Tonia laughed at first, but she ate it, and that same night, a source who had ghosted for months suddenly called out of nowhere. A career-breaking story fell in her lap, just like that. But she was a journalist, and her instincts kicked in. She went back, offered to help at Isi Ato's store, and that's when she saw what really happened behind the pot. Mama Nnuku would whisper into the soup, and before serving, she would dip her hand into a small black pouch tied to her waist and add a final pinch of something that looked like a spice. Tonia also found a box beneath Mama Nnuku's bench. Inside it, an old photo of her missing classmate, gone since NYSC. When she confronted Mama Nnuku, the woman only said, 3 heads, 3 parts. Something must go for something to stay. Tonia left that day. She never ate from Isi Atọ again and never looked back until now. Her cousin continued, "What if Kaima's coma wasn't something medicine could fix? What if this, whatever this was, needed something medicine couldn't give? And what if the price you refused to pay back then was now being demanded again?" Tonia didn't reply. She actually couldn't. She just sat there, staring at the phone. Her cousin's words echoed in her head. The price you refused to pay. She wondered why she hadn't thought of it before, but she was desperate. She would do anything at this point. Anything for Kaima to come back to life. She hadn't told anyone what she saw in that box. Not even her husband. She buried it. But now, Kaima's body lay still, breathing, but not living. And what if the one place she feared the most was the only place left to get solution? By 6 a.m., she was already up, packing quietly. 2 tops, 1 extra pants. her car keys, and one photo of Kaima smiling. Then she drove straight to Aku town, heading back to the place she swore she would never return to. It was the same red soil at Aku town. Things had barely changed. Same busy streets, traders hawking, Okada weaving through traffic, and loud Igbo music booming from shop speakers. And then, just past the last turn, that familiar zinc wall. Still no signboard, just faint chalk on the side. Isi Atọ. It was still there. But there was no one there. It looked like it had been closed for some time. The stall, it was cold, dusty, abandoned. She parked, got out slowly. Suddenly, her phone rang. It was her husband, his voice tense. "Tonia, where are you? I woke up and you were gone. I've called 3 times. What's going on?" She hesitated, then simply said, "I have unfinished business to settle. I'll be back in a day. Just watch over Kaima for me." And she hung up. Across the road, a woman was sweeping in front of her store. Tonia walked over. "Excuse me, ma. Mama Nnuku. She's not here today." The woman looked up. "You never hear? That woman done sick since. It don't reach 2 years now." Tonia's chest tightened. "Sick?" The woman dropped her broom and shook her head. "Dem say na all the juju wey she dey do for that her soup don finally catch her. That thing, e no be ordinary sickness. Her leg even dey rotten. Maggots dey comot from am." Tonia's throat dried up. Do you know where she lives?" The woman gave directions with her hand. "That small compound behind St. Teresa's school, the green gates wey no dey lock." Tonia didn't wait for more. She thanked her, jumped back into her car, and drove off in a hurry. She found the house, just like the woman described. She got down. The gate creaked as she pushed it open. The yard was quiet. Chickens clucked in a corner. The air smelled faintly of herbs. She knocked on the door. No response. Then, a voice of a small child said, "Come in." Inside the room was dim, and it smelled like a mix of damp wrappers, herbs, and rotten eggs. A small girl, about 13 years old, stood near a bed, holding a damp cloth. And on the bed was Mama Nnuku. She looked like a shadow of herself. Her cheeks were sunken, her skin dry and pale. She had lost so much weight. Her wrapper barely clung to her frame. One leg, swollen, dark, and stiff, hung off the side of the bed. The smell intensified as Tonia stepped closer. A heavy mix of rot, herbs, and something sour. Then she saw them. 2 pale, wriggling things crawling around Mama Nnuku's leg. Maggots. Tonia's stomach lurched. She slapped a hand over her mouth, fighting the urge to scream or vomit. Mama Nnuku opened her eyes but didn't react. Who are you?" Tonia stepped forward. "It's me, Tonia. Years ago, I helped you clean and cook. The girl that saw the box with Chika's picture in it at your store." There was silence. Then Mama Nnuku's eyes sharpened slightly. "You came back." Tonia nodded, fighting tears. "My son, he is in a coma. I tried everything, and then I remembered you. The soup. I'm ready. I'll do anything. Just anything." Mama Nnuku's voice cracked. "I can't cook again. As you can see, I am very, very ill, and the spirits have decided to punish me. So please, there is nothing I can do for you. Just leave right now." She looked away. But Tonia stepped forward. "Please, ma, if it is money, say it. If it's help, say what I must do, and I will pay and do it. Just help me save my son." Mama Nnuku was quiet for a long time. Her chest rose and fell slowly, like the air around her was heavy. Then finally, she spoke. "There is one thing, but it is not money alone." Tonia leaned in. "Anything, ma. Just anything." Mama Nnuku spoke softly. "Pay off what I owe. My herbs, my treatments, all of it. And when I'm gone, take care of her, my daughter right here." She gestured towards the small girl standing silently in the corner. "Train her, raise her like your own, and that is the price." Tonia looked at the girl. Thin, barefoot, eyes wide and still. Then she turned back to Mama Nnuku. "I agree, ma. I swear, I agree." Desperately, she said. Mama Nnuku exhaled deeply. For a moment, it almost looked like relief. "Come back tomorrow at dawn. bring a young goat, the black kind, and these spices. She reached slowly for an old calabash bowl and removed a faded list written on a brown paper. I still have a small bit of what my master gave me, the last of it. If I mix it right, maybe the spirit will still honor it. Then, with more force than Tonia expected, she added, listen to me, but your son must never be touched by a mad person, and he must never lay his hand on a live goat. Tonia nodded vigorously. Yes ma, anything. Tonia returned the next morning as promised, with the goat, with every single spice, and with an envelope full of cash. Mama Nnuku was waiting, barely strong enough to stand. She leaned on the small girl for support as she stirred the pot over the fire. The scent that rose from it was the same as before, sharp, thick, sweet, and strange. Once the soup was ready, Mama Nnuku lowered herself slowly to the ground and handed Tonia a single calabash bowl. She helped Mama Nnuku back into her room, placed the money beside her, and gave the girl her phone to type in Mama Nnuku's number. I'll send more soon, and I'll come back. I promise. Mama Nnuku pressed her number into Tonia's phone. Tonia drank the soup and looked at Mama Nnuku. Mama Nnuku reassured her that all will be well now, and she shouldn't forget her instructions. Tonia assured her that she will follow it, thanked her again, and left. On her way back, her husband called. She answered in panic. Tonia, he coughed. What? Kaima, he coughed twice, then opened his eyes. Tonia burst into tears and dialed Mama Nnuku immediately. The old woman answered. Yes, Mama, he's awake. Thank you so much, Tonia said excitedly. There was a pause. Don't forget what you promised me, Tonia. My time is almost done. I won't, I swear, Tonia said. A month later, the call came. It was the girl, her voice trembling. Mama is gone. Tonia felt it in her chest. The end of something. She told her husband she needed to travel back to Aku town as soon as possible. Someone she knew had passed. She didn't say more. On her way back, Tonia was lost in thought, wondering what explanation she would give her husband. How do you tell someone the cost of a miracle, or that you promised a dying woman you will take care of her child? What story will I tell? The truth or something easier? Her hands tightened on the wheel. She glanced in the rearview mirror, met the girl's eyes for a moment. They both look away. I thought the hardest part was saving Kaima. I was wrong. The hardest part is now driving home, knowing nothing will ever be the same. She turns into their street. The car slows. Her husband comes out to open the gate. He stares, then looks at her in shock. Who is this? Tonia steps out. The girl steps out too. Her husband's voice sharpens. Tonia, who is this child? Tonia opens her mouth. A breath, a pause. She's about to speak, and everything fades. If you enjoyed this story, click the like button and subscribe for more captivating African stories. Up next is Isi Ato Part 1. Watch it next to understand how this all began.